Inside this box is one of my most anticipated sneaker releases of the entire year. I'm so stoked. I've been waiting for this shoe for years. Probably not years, actually. I don't think I even knew about this shoe last year, but for months. Look at that. These are the Salehe Bembury Juniper Crocs, or I guess the Crocs Juniper by Salehe Bembury. These are Crocs' first pair of sneakers with Salehe Bembury. He's obviously done a bunch of clogs, some slides, but this is the first pair of actual shoes that they've done together, and I'm so excited for it. Obviously, the packaging right off the bat is wild. I love it. It reminds me a lot of the packaging that they used for the Salehe Bembury Crocs when they first released a couple years ago. You've got this clear box top that says the Crocs Juniper by Salehe Bembury, and then Crocs Salehe Bembury at the top, and then the actual, I guess, sort of cardboard material that's used around the outside of the box is molded to the shape of the shoe, which is pretty amazing. Then you've also got the size tag in the front of the box right there. It's a size men's 9, women's 11, and the official colorway is guava. So I went with my true size in this shoe because apparently these do fit true to size, so that's something to keep in mind if you grab them. Obviously, I'm gonna try these on my deck, as I usually do with all the sneakers that I review. Let you guys know for sure once I've actually worn them, but from what I've heard, they fit true to size. This is my first time seeing them in person too. This is crazy. They got some nice weight to them. They feel premium. I love that. Yo, you guys know this about me. I'm a big Salehe Bembury fan. I love everything that he's dropped with New Balance, with Crocs. I've got some of them right here. New Balance 2002 Rs, one of my favorite sneaker collaborations of the last decade. Really like this shoe a lot. We've also got the OG Salehe Bembury Crocs and many more, but he's released some really incredible stuff, and his signature detail is his fingerprint. You can find it in pretty much every sneaker collaboration that he's dropped, and this shoe is no different, but of course, we'll get into all that later on in the video. But first, before we do that, let me tell you guys about the release information for this shoe. This shoe first released on May 30th for a retail price of $140, and as you probably expected, completely sold out. So if you want to grab a pair of these, I've made sure to leave links to them through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Okay, so the materials are different than I expected. The upper is sort of a rubbery, almost TPU-like material. I'm not sure exactly what it is. You've got this this booty construction, which actually seems like it's sewn or molded to the TPU. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I'll get into all this later on in the review. I'm just kind of checking the shoe out for the first time right here with you guys. You guys are getting my honest first impressions. It's a pretty simple construction on the upper of the shoe, which I actually really like. So the upper of the shoe is primarily made up of this like rubbery TPU, and then this this ankle collar area, which I thought was an internal booty based on the images that I was seeing online. Turns out it looks like it's more of a like a collar area that has this sort of I don't know, perforated foam in it. But very cool. I'm very excited to try these on. Oh, so I've got an insole in there too. Let's see if we can remove this. I don't know if I can. I wonder if it's that green material that you can see through the semi-translucent rubber on the outsole. That might be what it is, that cushion that's kind of extending past the sides of the shoe, so you probably can't pull it out. But either way, very, very clean looking shoe. Super unique. That's one of the things that I love about Salehe Bembury, is that he does things that are very different than really any of the other sneaker brands out there. A lot of brands rely heavily on legacy models. They create products that we've seen a million times before, and Salehe doesn't do that. He creates things that are brand new like this, something that we've never seen before, and it still incorporates his design language. So I'm really excited about this shoe. I cannot wait to try these on, and at this point, let's just do it. Let's just try them on. Yeah, so I got a brand new pair of shoes to show you. I want to get your opinion on them.
Oh, those are cool.
As a fellow industrial designer, I don't think anyone on the channel knew that, but you're also an industrial designer. That's how we met in college. What do you think? These were also designed by, I believe, industrial designer Salehe Bembury, or footwear designer.
Yeah, you can tell. Look at all that detail.
Isn't it crazy?
Looks like someone stepped in slime.
I could see that for sure. So I haven't tried these on yet, and I'm really excited to try these on because these are a brand new silhouette from Crocs. They could be like a whole new experience. I think I unlaced the other one by accident, but they do come pre-laced.
Oh, nice. You didn't lace them?
No.
Careful.
I'm embarrassed. True to size makes sense. They definitely are true to size. I'm actually surprised because usually with Crocs, I go a size down. Like I'm a size 9, I usually go down to an 8 in Crocs, but these, obviously being a brand new silhouette, sizing is a little bit different. So true to size. On foot, how you feeling?
They're really cool.
They kind of got that like hiking shoe vibe a little bit, but they're not really a hiking shoe. They're sort of like a everyday lifestyle sort of sneaker.
Yeah.
But you can hike in them if you want.
What material is the upper?
The upper's actually, I can't really figure it out. I think it's some sort of like rubbery TPU. I thought it was a leather online, but actually seeing it, which is kind of cool because you could, like, if you got it dirty, if you were to hike, you could probably like hose it down if you wanted to. There is like still like a fabricy mesh up here, but the rest of it's sort of this rubbery material.
Yeah, from here it looks like nice and smooth and cool looking.
It's actually like mad comfy too. It's like, it got this really nice cushion underfoot. All this like neon green material is a very soft foam. Maybe not as soft as like I don't know, like a Boost or like a Nike React, but it is pretty soft. My guess is, because I've actually felt the foam with my finger, that because it's fully encased in this rubber, it probably is not expanding as much as it could, so that's why it's not as like cushy as I think it wants to be. but it's still very soft underfoot, very comfortable. I'm really excited to rock this for like a day, see how it feels. It does a nice job of like cupping my foot. I like it. It's a nice feel. It's a nice feel. It does. It really does. I can't really explain it. Like, it really does kind of wrap around my foot. The real question is like, do I look sick?
Yeah, I think it's a good.
Like pretty sick.
Yeah, your outfit looks good with it too.
Thanks. Yeah.
You're wearing your industrial design apothecary shirt.
Yeah.
Your exploded view.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. That wasn't even on purpose. Yeah, I'm wearing my exploded view. Tee, which is available on apothecary.com. Speaking of things available on apothecary.com, we've got the brand new brown and cream hat. There's 100 numbered hats, so if you want to grab those, you got to be first, because those first 100 ones will fly. And then we've got a couple other ones that aren't numbered. So if you guys want to grab these, Friday 11 a.m. Eastern Time, apothecary.com. We drop a couple limited hats here and there in colors that we're never going to drop again. And this is one of those colors. So if you want one, Jordan, I can get you one.
Yes, please.
Honestly, in the last 5 minutes that we've been filming this, incredibly comfortable on foot. Again, I would recommend true to size. It feels, I think even lengthwise, yeah, lengthwise true to size. All around, actually. They did a nice job with sizing. Not like Adidas. Adidas always, like, it's either half size too big, half size too small. Every shoe is different.
Oh, it's all over
It's a
the
mess,
place?
yeah. Nike usually gets it on point. These ones are on point. What would you rate them out of 10? Compared to like the Asics and the Jordans and stuff that we've been looking at recently.
I mean, at least a 7, maybe 8.
Yeah, nice. Are they in the conversation for like top 10 sneakers of the year, maybe sneaker of the year for you? I don't know if you have that list.
Yeah,
in your head,
I mean, they're just so different too. So it's like that would be my one like funky sneaker in the lineup.
Definitely funky. Surprisingly breathable. I thought they'd be less breathable because the upper is like sort of rubbery material, but because there's so much perforation and there's like literally only one layer of rubber, there's nothing really preventing the airflow. So it's nice. Comfy and true to size. Back to the studio. All right, so this sneaker is really interesting. First of all, because it's completely different than really anything that we've seen over the last couple of years in the way of new sneaker silhouettes. And because of that, before I got this shoe in hand, I had a lot of questions about it. Questions like, are they comfortable? How do they fit? What materials are they made of? What are they used for? How are they put together? And I think in today's review, I should be able to answer all of those questions, hopefully all the questions that you all have before you actually get them in hand, because I think if you did order these on Salehe's website, you should be getting them in the mail in the next couple days if you haven't already gotten them. So hopefully I can give you guys some clarity for all those questions if you decide to grab these guys for resale, or if they ever drop a new colorway in the future, you guys will know what you're getting into when you pick them up. So obviously the first thing that you'll notice about this shoe is the size. This shoe is a lot bigger. It's got a larger footprint, literally, than I expected when I saw images online. And I'll be honest, I think that's a trend right now in footwear, big chunky shoes. And this shoe does a great job of being chunky and large without being like too oppressively large to a point where you feel like you're just walking around with bricks on your feet. This shoe definitely has some weight to it, but it's not too much weight. It actually makes it feel more premium than anything else. And the size, especially when you look at the shoe from the top, is actually really, really cool. My wife made a good point to me this morning that these shoes are probably one of the most stable shoes on the market because of how wide they are. Although I did trip when I was trying these on.
Careful.
I'm embarrassed. To be fair though, not the shoe's fault. My fault because I suck at putting on shoes. Before we dive into the materials and the construction and all the little parts of this shoe that really make it unique and different, I do want to talk about the design language and also what this shoe is actually made for. So the Crocs Juniper by Salehe Bembury, which I believe is the official name of the shoe based on the packaging and what I've seen on their website, it definitely has that outdoor hiking aesthetic, and that's something that you can absolutely do in this shoe. But this is really a lifestyle, everyday wear shoe that you could do pretty much anything other than maybe play basketball or run in. I mean, you might be able to run in this shoe, but I probably wouldn't. And I've got to say, for the first pair of Crocs sneakers in recent memory at least, or the first Salehe Bembury pair of Crocs sneakers, this shoe is really cool, and it's really successful as a sneaker. Not only does it still embody that sort of Crocs Pollex clog aesthetic, it still looks like its own thing, and you would never really confuse these two shoes. They definitely have a similar design language, they're definitely from the same family, but they're not the same shoe. And I definitely think designing this shoe, you could have fallen into that trap of leaning too heavily on the more, I wouldn't call it legacy at this point, but the original design language. But instead what Salehe did was get inspired by that design language and create something completely different. As far as colorways go, the Salehe Bembury Crocs Juniper has only released in this one colorway. I wouldn't be surprised if there are more colorways in the future. We've seen leaks and images of possibly friends and family colorways. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but we've seen other colorways out there in the wild. But this first colorway is the guava colorway, and if you actually look at a guava fruit, I mean, it's the exact same thing. A lot of brands, they'll name their shoe something like University Red, and it's just like a red, and it's a different red depending on which shoe you're looking at. For this shoe, it's very specifically a guava themed shoe, which I'm into, and it's unique. You really don't see this colorway that much at all on sneakers, especially not in this tonality. It's not usually like a washed out sort of salmon pink or like a sort of dual toned green with like a neon green on the inside and then this sort of like bluish green on the rubber. It's a very, very unique sneaker in every aspect, and I love that about it. But okay, with all that being said, let's actually dive into the materials and make up the Crocs Juniper by Salehe Bembury. So starting off in the toe of the sneaker, obviously the midsole of the shoe kind of acts as the mud guard because it wraps up onto the toe, so we'll get to that a little bit later on in the video. But the actual toe area of the shoe is covered in this TPU material with a bunch of ventilation holes. And like I mentioned in the unboxing of this shoe, it's a pretty simple construction, which you would expect from a pair of Crocs sneakers. The upper, in most areas, is purely just this TPU material. It's one layer of it. It's probably, I really can't guesstimate this, but like, let's say 3 millimeters, 2 millimeters, I don't know. It's thick enough to be durable, but still thin enough to give you a lot of flexibility in the upper. And one thing I really like about having one material on a majority of the upper of the shoe with no backing is that these perforation holes actually allow for airflow. Like when you're wearing this shoe, if you're wearing a bright colored pair of, say, apothecary socks, you could actually see them through the perforation holes because there's nothing in between your socks and the top of the shoe other than the TPU. And that's another reason why I think the shoe could be a pretty decent hiking shoe. Obviously, they're marketing it as sort of an outdoorsy sort of shoe because it should be relatively easy to clean. And the materials that they used on the upper, this TPU, this rubbery TPU, should be not only durable, but also very like stain resistant, probably scratch resistant. It's not gonna be like a suede where you get it wet once and then it's useless. So very interesting material choice. I assumed based on the images online that it was leather because of the texture on the side of the shoe, which is obviously just molded in. But when you actually look a little bit deeper at the shoe, you'll notice that a lot of these details like the eye stay and also this toe area that's kind of pressed into the upper of the shoe, they're all molded together as one piece, which you couldn't do in leather, obviously, because leather is not molded. You can roll on a texture, but you can't mold leather. All that said, I know I'm totally geeking out in this shoe and kind of going on tangents, but it's designed by a fellow industrial designer slash footwear designer, so I'm into it. I like a lot of the things that happened on this shoe. Continuing up in the shoe, you've got more of this salmon colored TPU, or I guess sort of like grayish pink color. Like I mentioned before, you've got the eye stays that are all part of the same TPU piece. Weaving through the eye stay, you've got this this thin sort of flat, almost like orangey colored lace. I don't believe you get a second set of laces in the box. I didn't, so I'm assuming that you don't. But I probably wouldn't change out the lace color anyway. Underneath the laces, you get to this semi-detached tongue, which comes in this gray knit, and then towards the top of the tongue, you've got this more neoprene material, which is pretty well padded. Of course, at the top of the tongue, you've got your green tag that says Crocs Salehe Bembury Juniper. And then around the ankle area of the shoe, you get to some more gray mesh, and underneath that gray mesh, you've actually got this sort of like white perforated foam. Interestingly enough, something that I didn't expect is that this ankle area here, this sort of padded area, is only as far down as you can see. It's actually sewn to the TPU right there and then doesn't go any farther down. You really only get the padding on the top of the ankle area, which makes sense because that's where your ankle is making contact with the shoe. You very rarely get padding against like the back of your heel. You usually only get it around the ankle area, so it makes sense that this is not a full booty construction and instead is just an ankle collar area that's stitched to the TPU. And because it's constructed that way, these perforation holes around the heel allow you to get a lot of breathability in your heel, which you very rarely get. This shoe is so interesting to me because it's a sneaker, 100%, but it still has that Crocs DNA while being its own thing. Like if you saw this shoe on a shelf, you might not immediately think Crocs, but when you held it, you could definitely understand that it is a pair of Crocs because of the materials and because of all the little things that I already mentioned. In my opinion, a very successful collaboration. That being said, I am biased because I really like Salehe Bembury, but I genuinely believe that. Moving inside the shoe, you've got this neon green insole or footbed that says Crocs on the heel. Of course, it features that signature Crocs massaging texture. Now, as you guys saw earlier, I tried to pull this out because I thought it was a separate insole, but from what I can tell, it really does seem like you're just standing directly on the midsole cushion, which I think is dope, to be honest with you. I wish more brands did that. And that midsole cushion you can actually see through the semi-translucent midsole. We'll get to that a little bit later on in the video, but you really are basically standing on a drop-in insole, similar to a pair of Kobe's. Back in the day. As I mentioned in the try-on portion of this video, this shoe does fit pretty much true to size. The more that I've worn it, the more that I would understand if you wanted to go down a half size. Unfortunately, I don't believe this shoe comes in half sizes. Go true to size, unless you're like a 9.5, then maybe go in the down direction rather than the up direction, if you know what I mean. Like maybe go for a 9 instead of a 10. That would be my guess, but if you can go true to size, go true to size, and you should be just fine. Continuing back in the shoe, you've got more of that salmon-colored TPU, which has that molded-in texture, which kind of looks like a fingerprint, but it also kind of looks like a coral. I don't know exactly what inspired it, but it's a cool texture, and I like that it kind of gives it that leather look from a distance. It fooled me. And then in the midfoot of the shoe, you get to this dark gray panel, which does provide a little bit of support around the arch area of your foot, especially on the medial side. You also have the Crocs logo right there. It raises up a little bit to give you a little bit more support. Not a huge amount, but a little bit. I also think that this panel could be co-molded with the, no, maybe not actually, because the seam doesn't make sense there with the salmon colored material, but it might not be. No, it is glued on. It is glued onto the upper. Not important. Continuing even farther back in the shoe, you get to the heel area, which I already sort of covered. You've got a lot of perforation holes on the lateral and on the medial side of the shoe. Interestingly enough, on the medial side, you've got this this sort of 3D texture, which kind of mimics what's going on the midsole, and I'm assuming that it is sort of an extension of what's going on in the midsole. It could also be like a signature or something. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, it's a cool touch. I like it. And then rounding off the center of the heel, you've got this gray textured piece of TPU leading to a pull tab to allow you to pull the shoe on a little bit easier. Which surprisingly, for a shoe that doesn't have a separate tongue, sort of like a booty construction style shoe, even though it doesn't have a full booty, it's not hard to get on. Although I did trip when I was trying to put it on, but again, I think that was just my fault.
I'm embarrassed.
But now we get to the eye-catching detail on the shoe, the part of the shoe that everyone notices first, and that of course is this really interesting midsole and outsole. So like I mentioned before, the entire design of this midsole and outsole all stems from Salehe Bembury's fingerprint, which is used on pretty much every other sneaker collaboration he's done, at least recently. And what I love about this detail is not only does it literally stamp his fingerprint or his signature on the shoe in a way that really no other sneaker designer has, at least that I've seen, it also acts as one of the major design elements on the shoe. Obviously on Crocs, it's on the bottom of the shoe. It's sort of raised, or I guess extruded, as a traction pattern, and then it wraps up in the midsole of the shoe and creates this seemingly random but really unique looking design. And obviously it's not random because it's based on the fingerprint, but it really does give this shoe a very unique design language. As my wife said, it kind of looks like you're stepping into slime, especially in this colorway, and you're getting that splash up. It's very, very cool. It's very different. And like I mentioned before, even though this shoe is based on literally the same outsole pattern as you get with the Pollex Crocs, it actually creates a completely different aesthetic on the upper of the shoe. With the Crocs Pollex clogs, it kind of looks like roots growing into the ground. With this shoe, it kind of looks like this sort of interesting network of like different textures. I don't know, it gives it a completely different aesthetic, which I love, even though it's all based on the same fingerprint. And actually, if you were wondering where it was on other Salehe Bembury collaborations, here it is on the heel of the New Balance 2002R. But speaking of the midsole itself, the parts that you can actually see on the sides of the sneaker, it does expand pretty far off of the side of the shoe, which gives it this very wide base, which makes it look very unique and also makes you feel pretty stable. Molding this must have been a nightmare. You can see some of the parting lines on the shoe, especially towards the midfoot of the shoe, and then of course on this part that kind of covers up the top part of the toe. Speaking of this triangular detail on the toe, this is also a carryover from the Salehe Bembury Pollex Crocs. You have the same rubber hit on this shoe as well that wraps up from the outsole of the shoe, so it's kind of cool to see that carryover. Although the design is a little bit different, it does provide a little bit more durability, I guess, if you catch your toe on something. Obviously, this outer material is a semi-translucent rubber that comes in this sort of greenish blue, and then the rubber encases this neon green foam that you can see on the inside of the shoe. It also is cool that the foam actually expands out with the midsole. Like, you can see it on the sides of the shoe. It actually comes out of the side of the shoe. It's not just underneath your foot. I like that a lot. Plus, it's surprisingly comfortable underfoot. Way more comfortable than I expected because the rubber is very thick and not very flexible. So it's kind of nice to have a super soft cushion because you wouldn't have expected that. You would have thought that this would be somewhat of a stiff shoe because of the amount of rubber that they use, but it's surprisingly soft underfoot. Of course, the rubber that you see on the midsole of the shoe wraps over onto the outsole of the shoe and creates that fingerprint traction pattern, which is such a cool touch. All around a very cool sneaker. One of my favorite angles of the shoe, which I didn't realize until I got these in hand, is actually the heel. It's such a different look. It kind of looks like almost like a putty. It's been kind of pressed down and you get these ripples in it. I don't know, it's just a cool part of the shoe. You wouldn't expect the rest of the shoe to look like this when you see just this area. I don't know, all around there's so much to look at, there's so much going on. It's very, very sculptural. The direction that he took with the design of these reminds me a lot of like the Mark Newsom Nikes, maybe the Nike Mars Yards, shoes that while they don't look the same, they are willing to explore and try something different. And that's what I really appreciate about Salehe Bembury. Across all his collaborations, he's been willing to take risks and do something that's completely different and completely out there. And in my opinion, this is another example of that. Obviously, not everyone is going to love this design. Not everyone loves every design, so I totally understand that if that's you. But I think overall, one of the most unique sneakers of the year, definitely in my top 10 for sure, and a shoe that I'm very excited to rock on a very regular basis. But hey, at this point in the video, let me know your thoughts on the Salehe Bembury Crocs Junipers in the comment section down below. Let me know if you bought a pair. Let me know if you want to buy a pair. Also, let me know what colorways you'd look for from this shoe in the future. And of course, if you missed out on the release of this shoe and you want to grab it for resale, I've made sure to leave affiliate links through the YouTube shopping tab on your screen. Awesome sneaker. I love it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and I will see you all in the next one.